It is another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha is not here.
Yeah.
I guess full transparency because we tape our show. I don't think I'm blowing anybody's, dream if I say that our show is typically pre-taped. I think we've only done one live show.
Yeah.
In the history of the show, we've only done one live show. But regardless, no Sam. Butler's in the other room. It is no girls here. We're peeing with the door open.
Yeah.
The fish tank, we're not caring about it. We're kicking our shoes off. I don't have shoes on. We're just throwing trash everywhere. No rules. Who cares?
Butler's saying the R word openly.
Yeah,
he loves doing that.
He loves saying it.
When Samantha's gone, that's his trigger to just start openly. He works it into everything too.
He also sits on her orthopedic pillow and tries to launch farts into it.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. And it's just all around sort of bad. So we figured we'd jump into voicemail messages. But before that, why don't you plug our Twitch channel and YouTube and whatnot?
Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. If you want to listen to our show live, that's the basically only way you could do it.
Yep.
You could do audio only on your Twitch app. And once you subscribe to our show, as soon as we go live, it will tell you.
Yeah, you get little alerts. Same thing on YouTube. Again, Tom and Dan Live on there as well. Just find us, hit that alert button, and subscribe. The YouTube videos are really cool because, if you like the behind-the-scenes stuff, then you're going to want to catch it live or catch it on Twitch. And if you don't have a ton of time, well, then I tidy things up, color correct it, sound correct it, make it look and appear to be way more beautiful than it actually is, and we replay it on the YouTube. And just search for Tom and Dan Live.
Yep.
All right. How about this one? Let's go with this one because this falls into the category of, and I know you and I have had these type of, and it typically is a Southern, and I'll dare I say Florida thing.
Yep. Remember
driving barefoot. I remember it always being, oh no, you can't drive barefoot in Florida. Can't
against
drive
the law.
No, against the law. You can't drive barefoot. Can't drive Here's another one that falls under that, and again, it's a typical Florida thing.
Okay.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. I'm walking home from the gas station right now, about a 6-pack, and I'm cracked one open and I'm drinking it. Have you ever gotten in trouble for public intoxication or like the open container out? Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio.
Basically, open container.
Yes,
He goes on to basically say that, he's carrying his 6-pack, he has a beer, he's walking home. A cop drives by him, sees him, he waves, the cop waves. No big deal, bro.
Yes.
Open container. Now, I believe there is a massive difference between public intoxication and open container.
I believe that these laws were made for certain circumstances and are only enforced under certain circumstances, and I'll explain. For instance, I think that society may have had a problem with like homeless people drinking openly, like while walking around, and society didn't like that. They're like, I don't like seeing homeless people openly drink, right? Hence why they put everything in paper bags. I think that's like a thing where...
I would like to know the origin of the paper bags.
So I think they passed laws in a lot of different places. Obviously, it's all local, that you can't have open containers in public because of that problem. I don't think it was for Zach, who, is a friendly neighborhood plumber walking to 7-Eleven and decides to have a beer while he's walking down the sidewalk, right?
Yeah, Brock Medium says it was also a way to harass people of color. I could see that.
Yeah. Oh, then it goes back into
Absolutely
like
can see that.
Old racist laws and stuff. And then also the public intoxication, I think under the same kind of genre, it's for homeless people and also a way for people to arrest people in party cities and like
cities.
No,
oh my God, they have the
not,
biggest,
no.
every color Laffy Taffy you can imagine. Streamers, hats.
I mean, like New Orleans and places that have like West or Key West that people walk
I thought you
around.
were gonna say Spencer's Gifts next.
So if you're walking around and you're blacked out and you're falling through the bushes and stuff, the police can technically then take you in, and most likely it's like the drunk tank. They let you sober up.
I
and
have
release
been
you.
detained for public intoxication.
Yeah.
I have never been stopped for an open container or anything. But I also don't drive down the road with a beer in my hand, and nobody should.
Well, the car thing, I think that rule was made because, and that's not in Texas. In Texas, you can the passenger can drink in the cab of
I
a
think in
car.
Louisiana you
yeah,
might be
in
able
certain
to.
states,
yeah, certain states you can drive around. Well, you can't. You can ride. You can ride. You can't drive.
But again, I think that law was made because probably the police officers, and I'm just guessing here, were like complained that if you didn't have the open container, like say in Texas, right, and there's a beer in your console and a cop pulls you over, he needs like some sort of evidence or intent or like a reason to give you like a field sobriety test or whatever. So if he sees that open container, that doesn't necessarily give him a reason to give the driver a field sobriety test if the passenger says, hey, it's my beer. So then you need like smelling alcohol, you need some sort of swerving or whatever. But in other states that there's an open container law, it gives them right off the bat, if you have an open beer in your console, you cannot say it's my passenger.
Yeah, off to the races. Yeah.
Automatically now that's a reason to give the driver a field sobriety. I think that's probably the logical reason.
Well, Divorced Dad Pad in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. He says, nope, in Texas, it's $500 open container law for the passenger.
What do you mean, like $500 fine?
Yeah, maybe we mean Louisiana then.
I thought that once you hit, it was always a thing that I heard. Maybe there's an antiquated law or whatever that I think when I was in high school or college, like the idea of driving across the country, we always talked about if you hit Texas, the passenger can start drinking. Like that,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like, but that may have been like they sold fireworks in Georgia.
Sure.
You know, like
there are a
different
lot of
things
those.
change. You know?
There are a lot of those.
And then it depends, like, if you're in a limousine or a party bus, like the rules change. It's all over the place. But I think I'm telling you what, having kids is the biggest deterrent of getting pulled over or like if you're a party dad.
Well, if you're a good dad, if you care about your kids, because you could get drunk and drive with them in the car if you'd want to. But
dude, I'm not. This is no exaggeration. Maybe 6 different times I was pulled over on my boat by boat cops in the year I had my old mildew boat before the kids, right? Like I used to complain about it in the air and make a joke about it, but it's true. Like I got pulled over 6+ times, like either checking like my safety stuff.
It was happening.
Seeing if I was drunk. You know, like it would just happen a lot.
It was happening.
And it would be me and Crystal and like like 2 other friends or whatever. We're all in our 20s, and we're, of course we're drinking and stuff, but still you see that. But then I've never been pulled over once. I've only been waved at, like, how you doing? Like, because I have now 2 young boys and then my wife on a boat. They're not effing with me because they're like, screw this. Like, this guy's not, if I drove by with a bunch of bikini babes in the front dancing.
I'm so glad you said bikini babes.
To turn down for one. And then I'll get pulled over every time.
Well, there you go. Open container law. We will revisit that.
And then there's rule on boats.
I'd like to know what it is state to state. Who's got the coolest laws?
Well, dude, on a boat, you can go, okay, right.
Who's the coolest state? What state? Is it Texas or us?
What?
Well, which state? I mean, there
It's
like
like-
it is possible to take all 50 states, right?
Yeah.
And you line them all up, and you give a power rating to. Like you do it just like you do any NFL, MLS teams. You give them a power ranking. So you give
Most party state.
like what state, because of its laws, because of its people, its weather, everything, and then you crown the coolest state is what? If we had to speculate, I would imagine we'd be up there. We're in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah. Because
Of party states.
if you go California, it's too big, and so
A
like
lot of laws too.
like San
A lot of
Diego.
environmentalists
Yeah.
that lock down things. That'll kill your party.
And it's like the San Diego and Northern California are so different that it's like it might as well be a different state. It's kind of like that in Florida a little bit, but Florida has a vibe. And as far as laws go, You start getting into like Montana and stuff. They're real free. Like you would just have your machine gun and be drinking. Like it doesn't even matter. Like but there's no one there.
Yeah,
so it's
like Wyoming. I'm getting a lot of Wyoming, some North Dakotas. Yeah, I agree with that.
Of course, but no one cares. There's a difference between being cool, bro, and just like do what you want. There's nobody here. It doesn't make drive as drunk as you want. There's no one here.
Well, again, that would factor into my equation. Remember, this is a power ranking system where North Dakota and Wyoming will be graded down because, again, it would be like no one's there to even care what you're doing.
Okay.
So, of course, you get graded down.
So, if you want to look at like Louisiana, New Orleans, and that's a
they'd
cool
be in
party
there.
town.
They'd be out
But I'd rank us higher because we got Key West, which is kind of like the New Orleans of Florida. As far as the vibe and the, you could walk around drinking, partying. Like, obviously, New Orleans is way more of a party town, I think. But Key West is pretty close, and you got the ocean, right? Not the doo-doo Gulf, and, it's just, like, super nice. So, I don't know. Florida's up there. I mean, with the theme parks.
We're getting a lot of...
we're open, baby?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And you're getting a lot of like people moving to Florida. You're getting a lot of people that say they're moving to Texas.
If you like Texas, if you like guns a lot, I think Texas is the place if you want way more guns. Like they're... I don't know.
I mean, there's
I
more to
don't know if they
life.
have different gun laws.
There's more to life than guns, Tom.
I think you could shoot someone pretty
Shoot
pretty
'em good,
easy.
Shoot them good.
You could shoot... If you want to shoot someone, go to Texas.
Okay.
Like, I think
that's good to know.
There's some weirdo laws where like...
I'm not really into shooting people, but
Is this
I'll let you know if things change.
Is this an urban legend? At one time, I was told that if you come home and someone's banging your wife, that you can murder that person. You can shoot him.
I
get away with it.
Who told you
in
that?
Texas.
Did David Jolly tell you that? That's a lie. I don't look. I'm no.
Butler, look that up.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you
that'll
shoot
help.
someone banging a wife in Texas?
He's on Pornhub right now because Sam's not here. Don't bother him.
Because that was an urban legend that I heard of.
Yeah, of course. You just answered your own question. I don't believe that's true. I don't think you could just you come home and then if you so the rule would be you'd have to actively catch them engaged in the act of coitus.
That's what I heard. What's the chat room say? They've heard that too.
Oh man, yeah, I've heard it.
There you go.
Ghost of Manute Bull says, quote, kill a man in Texas, it's fine, quote, end of quote, Tom Van. He's just quoting you.
It's something like that. And also, there's a lot more of like,
the right to what is that?
If someone's in your house.
Continually, what is contition?
Oh.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay,
hold on. Where'd you read that?
That's fine then. Yeah,
So
apparently
Butler
it's
Google
all
searched it, and he confirmed.
Constitutionally. I didn't know what you were saying there. Constitutionally? I was trying to read what he was saying.
Seems like a... Also, it seems like a defense that may not hold up by a jury. It's like you come home and someone's banging your wife, and then you go up there and you execute him.
Maybe you can't execute him. Maybe you could just shoot him a bunch of times, but you can't go up to him and be blow his head off.
Because he would probably stop. You know what I'm saying? Because then
I'd at least let him put his pants on before I start. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like at what? I don't know how much.
I would put your pants on before I start unloading this gun.
Yeah, like
I don't want to see that.
Is there any case law? We could ask Mo this.
The clothes serve a purpose in the idea of holding a little bit of the blood in and also making less of a mess. So yeah. I would ask you both respectfully if you get off of each other and put your clothing on so I can kill you.
Seems like you're making a bad day worse, even if it was legal. Which there's some evidence that it may be. It seems like the day you found out your wife's cheating on you, you murdered a person, or killed them.
That's a tough day.
It seems like that would all weigh heavy on you down the line.
Unless
right?
I think you think that the killing of her will make it better.
But it won't. She still did it.
Yeah.
And then this guy, maybe he didn't even know this lady was married. So you may have killed an innocent person.
You gotta ask him, right? You gotta look.
Well, the guilty party is your wife.
No, you look at the guy and you go look, while you're putting your pants on, did you know? And then you got to make a character judgment at that point, right?
And even if he did, it's you could ask yourself, well, I like to bang my wife. and this guy obviously does too.
Yeah.
It's like, how bad could it be?
Maybe you
Right?
got- well, we're more
we
alike
got that,
than we are different.
Yes, we got that in
Yeah,
common.
we're more alike than we are
We
different.
both
So
like
you give
banging-
him the gun, and then you pull out another gun,
Uh-huh.
and then you say,
Yeah.
"You killer."
No.
Ultimate test, friendship test, because he's now your new best friend.
Nobody should kill anybody in this
Oh,
scenario.
okay. Well, hold on.
Yeah,
I thought
that-
the whole thing was a kill. There was somebody's getting killed.
Yeah, well,
Why am I in
no.
Texas? That was the whole point.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'll stay in Florida then, because I'm not pro-killing. I'm anti-killing.
Butler, look up if this has ever been recently used in some sort of case.
Yeah, Hercules 0070 is correct in our Twitch chat room. He says, ask him for his phone and then go through his text messages to decide.
Okay, well, now
Yeah.
you're a judge and executioner.
Well,
at this
I mean,
point.
at least you're giving him a little more fairness than just you don't even let him put his pants on. You just start shooting up the room.
What I also feel like your wife, like after you killed her lover, she may testify against you. In
If
court.
they're on top of each other, you're going to have to be a hell of a marksman.
yeah.
You're going to have to tell them to separate or put a hose on them or something, like dogs.
That's
That's what my granddad used to do as a hunting dogs. He'd have to go out there and hose them down because they'd be so horny, bloodlust. They'd be humping each other, killing each other with their penis.
well, then it would get stuck. And
yeah.
And you have
Well,
to
one
hose
of them
them.
got his weenie in a briar bush.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
yeah,
then that one is where Granddad walked out with his gun, and we heard one blast, and he walked back, and then he started snapping green beans on the porch.
yeah.
True
There's
story.
a different. Yeah, that's
I don't even think he buried him. I think he just let the vultures eat him. That was
That's-
his best dog, Red.
yeah. That's God. We need
He
to.
was so upset at that dog. And who would have thought that a hunting dog can get so horny that he can get injured down there and it can bleed out?
Yeah. We need to interview more like old real men because
They don't like to talk.
They don't, I know.
You what you want is impossible.
Yes, I want the impossible.
We had it, but he would have never spoken to us. And it was your granddad. He would have been amazing. But it would have been weird and disrespectful, and he wouldn't have understood it.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
didn't want to talk in here. This is stupid.
No, yeah.
And there's too bright. The colors are too bright. And
He
why
also
aren't you
did-
guys doing real work? And it's too cold in here. You know what I mean?
He didn't want to talk about his business.
No.
Like why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like if he knew what I talk about, he would be mad. He'd be like, "Well, you're saying all this."
Why do you say that about your wife?
Yeah, oh,
Why do
yeah.
you say that about your son?
I've
Who's
had-
this little guy?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even like it.
He's too little to know business. Like I said, you're my business partner.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
exactly.
he doesn't respect
Well, everything
you.
is sizes and strength, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not a
You're not a
large,
real man.
imposing
Yeah.
man, so I have no worth.
Yeah.
I have nothing to give the earth.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
nothing to give society.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they just as soon as launched me in a catapult over the wall as a weapon. I'm a human weapon at that point because I have no. He has no strength. He can't carry boulders. Can he fight in the army? He can't fight in the militia.
I don't know what it is about the stone cold real man that with no emotion, just dead. Like I don't know why I like that. I don't know why I like it. It's because my pop and maybe my dad was like that. I can't
It's hard to
remember.
understand. There's a.
If you are stone cold real man, I want your respect for whatever
It's
reason.
fascinating because I believe on the surface it looks so simplistic and so easy to understand, right? It's like, look at this guy, he has no emotion. But no, it's a lot going on underneath there. You just never see it.
Oh yeah, well,
It's super
I guess
complex and weird, and there's a lot of dysfunction, and there's a lot of
Trauma.
emotional, stunted,
Dude,
trauma's a
you,
perfect
you
word.
went to war at like 17, and it's like you've been traumatized horribly.
Holy crap, Ghost of Manute Bull just said something so poignant. I'm going to read this phrase to you. He says, my dad is one of the people I'm closest to while simultaneously knowing very little about.
Yeah. That's
I think most people are like that with their dads. I mean, there's a side of my dad that I won't even get to. Now, think about this. I've got this weird thing in my brain right now where, like, with both of my parents being passed, like, I don't even know how to vet things. I don't know how to. And there are certain
Yeah.
memories that I've had to write things down or at least express it to Andrea so I have somebody else in the know because I don't even know how to get the details anymore.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah.
So I started a couple nights ago. I talked to my dad's twin brother and to his wife, my aunt, and I talked to them for a little while, and it's weird. He sounds exactly like my dad.
Yeah.
In fact, she called me first and said, "Are you sure you want to? I want to make sure you're okay talking to him because it might freak you out." And I was like, "Ah, it's fine."
That's always been a weird.
It is freak me out.
It's
though.
always,
Like,
yeah,
it's really
that's
weird.
always been a weird thing for me, for you. It's like that your dad is an exact twin
Dude,
brother.
his voice.
His voice is the same. He looks the same.
If I had him call the show
I'm
and then you
telling
went
you.
back and listened to my dad, it'd blow your mind. It's very odd. And when I heard him on the phone, I'll be real with you guys, I started crying a little bit because it sounds exactly like my effing dad. It's weird.
Oh, I lost respect for you. That got a little bit of pop-up in it. But I'm telling you, we've said this joke before, but I would do the ghost, turn off the lights, and hug him. So it's like one last hug with your dad. That's what like you could hug a man that would look exactly like your
and smell like my dad.
Sound, smell, feel. In
Same
fact,
size exactly and weight, dude. Height and weight exact. It's a clone.
what if you paid? Okay, this
Dude, it's a clone.
What if I paid your uncle to one night at a dinner, like let's say you go to Porky's because your dad loved Porky's.
No, my dad did love Porky's.
And then you
well, he liked the girls that worked at Porky's probably better than Porky's.
and I'll get Doug to dress up in your dad's clothes and like exactly like your dad and pretend, and then
It's not hard.
and then you could have some.
I could
in your
ride up on a
mind,
motorcycle and ride motorcycles with Doug.
well,
Yeah.
it'd be like one last lunch with your dad, and then he pretends to be your dad, and then it's a weird like this is a weird.
There's no,
but like
you don't understand how close
No, I
it
know, but
already
he-
is. He doesn't even need to pretend. He talks exactly like him, dude.
yeah, but I'd pay him to be like just pretend. You know, it's like
As
you know.
I was talking to him, he was doing things that my dad would do. He'd be like, yeah, like already thinking about what he wanted to say because he didn't really truly care what I was saying. You know, like things that my dad really did.
Dude, there's that. I guess there's. You know what? This is. I've never looked at video of my dad. I don't know if you do this. Do you do this? Like probably.
I look at videos of my dad every day, nude videos.
No. I'm saying
What are
like
you talking about?
like I'm so screwed up that once things happen
God,
like
Sam leaves and we start gushing on the show.
I don't know why we're talking
Let's
about
have
this.
a moment.
But I've thought about this before, and I'm like, normal people, because like my sister does this, and I think normal people do this, where they'll look back on pictures and videos of the loved ones that have passed, and they'll they'll try to remember them as much as
don't do
possible. I don't
have any photos. I have nothing. I don't like keepsakes. They make me angry.
I can't even go there's plenty of video of like my brother and stuff and like his Facebook and like anytime I see memories and stuff I can't even look at it. It's probably some therapist would be
No,
like
I'm
"You're
with you.
screwed up."
I don't like going back to that, and he's not even a relative of mine. It makes me sad that he's no longer with us, so I don't revisit any of that crap.
And there's like my mom.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call it crap. You know what I mean.
Of course, no, but I look at it like. Now, I think a professional would be like, you should have some better relationship.
It's
with
called
the
intentional
closure.
grieving. They tell me
intentional grieving. Yeah.
Intentional grieving is a real thing, and it actually works.
And then, but then to me, I'm just like, listen, I'm looking at life in front of me, and I'm like, there's not that much time left. So, and then I say that as ridiculous. I'm 39, but still, I think like that. I'm like, what do I got? 25, 30 good years.
I think
or whatever.
maybe I got like 2,
you start
3.
getting to your 60s, 70s. I know that I'll think differently in 10 years. I'm like, that's not that old. I used to think 40 was an old man when I was 20. Of course, that's how life goes.
Just your perspective.
But anyway, I just never go back and look at any of that stuff because I'm always like, I don't know, who wants to be sad? I'm like, why? Why am I force myself to be sad? Crystal does that, where she'll like, I want to watch a sad movie to make myself cry. I'm like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that?
Well, Andrea
like,
does
it makes
that.
me feel better.
It's like Andrea binge watching. What's it? You guys are doing it right now. A Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah. I'm
like
watching
right before bed, and I'm like, nah, dog. I will not do that. I will gladly play PBA Bowling 2021 and listen to Yacht Rock. Way better.
The Handmaid's Tale is way, for whatever reason, less stressful watching it now than it was at the beginning. I don't know why, but watching it now, it's kind of like absurd. And then I always just
it's
laugh.
crazy. It's
I'm
bananas.
like, all right, cue the close up on her angry face
Yeah.
because that's all they do. Close up on her shaking angry. You're like, all right, I've seen the close up.
That was the old Walking Dead. And cue Rick Grimes crying.
Yeah. We know you're angry and you've got rage built up inside. The director can stop showing us a close-up of her angry face on every episode. I'm like, okay. We get it.
But you know, it's funny because intentional grieving is something that I brought up a couple of times with, I think, Butler and I've been talking about. I've been talking about it with our buddy Tuttle, about how like it's good to at least look. I can't tell you what's good for you. Everybody's different, right? We're all different. But I will say that I've been told from my therapist that it's good to do that kind of stuff, and like. My wife and I have been talking about it. Like you think somebody, like everybody's got crosses to bear and issues and whatnot. Somebody is well adjusted, as I know you think Andrea is, but she's even now in therapy because she wants to make sure that there aren't any things about maybe her brother passing or whatever that she didn't actively handle. Also, with my parents dying, it's funny. It's very easy for me to think that, oh, poor me. I don't even think about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't think about the other people that are involved in that, and you got to think about those kind of people, Maisie included. I got to think about everybody and like, try to get a little bit of mental health for everybody. Mental health is a big deal.
It is, yeah. And then I fall into never show your emotion, just stone cold. Because that's how people grew up around me. It's like you're a man. You don't cry. You don't do any of that. What are you, a baby? That's it. And so I don't want to like put that to my sons.
No.
That'll end up screwing you up because
But you know what
not
I'm
healthy,
learning? Not that we didn't know that, guys. When we start these, we don't know where the conversation's going to go, and I kind of like that. Here's one for you. Explain this. I mean, we're talking about nature, nurture, and what's in the genes. Maisie is she's sensitive, but she's naturally built to not want to show that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
She will. You've seen her. She'll get, if she gets mad or upset or sad. She would rather, on the boat trip you took us on when we were walking through the woods and she was not happy, rather than you and Tommy and Max know that she was crying or upset, she would rather run into the woods and die.
Yeah.
She'd rather do that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to show. She's naturally tough. Yeah, that's something
She'll
built
do
into
that.
her.
She does what guys do, like, oh, I'm not crying, and she'll do that, and I hate it. I'm like, nah, it's you're fine. It's fine to be like that. Don't worry about it. Why are you freaking out, bro?
It's funny because like
I didn't teach her that. I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
I do not have that ability. Yeah. What she can do, I do not have that in me.
Yeah.
That's Andrea.
Yeah.
That's something in her family. That's not me.
Yeah. And it wasn't taught.
No.
Yeah, that's some ingrained.
Nobody. The way I run things. We are an emotion full family. We are all emotions all the time.
Dude, Tommy's just like me emotionally. Literally can just stare at the wall, like is not bothered by like sad shows, movies, whatever. Doesn't cry, like what I'm saying. He's 7 years old, 6 years. He just never just stares at it, whatever. It's not.
He's just doing his thing.
And like he's compartmentalized his emotions. So like when he's like, and when something sad comes up, I just stare at it. And what I've now realized what he means by that is that he's no longer consuming what's making him sad, and then he just goes into his own thoughts or just like
If he learns how to control that, that's good. That's awesome because that's a meditative state.
Yeah, but then Max can't control his emotions. He's like emotional as hell. Like no, he's like he gets angry, cry at the drop of a hat. Like his emotional.
Yeah,
like
he's reactionary.
Crystal
Throws it out there,
and then it's just like no, we didn't teach him any of that. You just got it. That's why that. You could try to argue with me about, you not getting any of your own personality or emotion through genetics, but I saw it myself. Like, I don't know what the hell. I literally saw the proof, and maybe some psychologist could come in and be like, no, they learned all these emotions from you and blah, 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 and they were a blank slate when they were born. I just don't, there's no way. I saw it from my own eyes over the past 7 years.
It honestly makes me feel better because, like, because it makes me feel like,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm able to accept it
and then tweak it.
Yes, it is out of my control.
Now you could tweak it, and obviously you got to because you just don't give them the base and nothing else. But that base is in there, and I don't care what you say. Like that's hard to change. You can't change someone's base.
No.
But how can you make Maisie different than she is now? It would take an insane amount of. Like some sort of like psychological abuse to change her at this point,
Yeah.
She is who she is.
At that point, then it becomes sort of like deprogramming or something. Like, do you think that anybody could ever make me a non-emotional person like you?
No, but even like that means you were born like that.
No, I can't. There's no way. It's just rope swing, another hot topic. Apparently, a lot of dads like to do what you do.
All right.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam. So, listening to the BDM show, and I have a eerily similar story to Tom involving a rope swing. Only I was at King's Landing, and they have a rope swing out there.
Yep.
And my kids are going off it. Everybody's going off it. And I thought the same thing. I said, man, I could do a backflip. I remember how to do a backflip.
Oh, no.
Now, granted, I'm 37, 38 years old. And I go up there, I tell my wife, I said, hey, I'm about to go do a backflip. And she goes, oh, don't. Don't get us going to the emergency room. And so I go up there and, I remember how I do it. Swing off the rope, do the backflip. And just like Tom, I came straight down. And if anybody's been to King's Landing, you know that it is very shallow there. And as soon as I land, I'm like, oh, I did it. And I took a step, and I thought, A, I either broke my leg, or B, tore a calf muscle or a tendon or something, because it hurt very bad. Now, just like Tom thought the same thing, like, oh, stand up, toughen up. And I start walking around, and I cannot walk on my leg. I end up telling my wife, saying, oh, I hurt my leg really bad. And I'm like, we got to go. Now, again, I could not put pressure on my leg. So as I go back to the canoe, I can swim most of the way. But as it gets to like 6 inches of water, foot of water, I am doing the gator crawl, because
You can also hear that he's kind of drunk right now, telling the story.
Also driving it.
Yeah. He also said he was 6 inches of water and then changed it to 6 feet of water. But
I don't want to get up and put pressure on my leg because I don't know how bad it is. So I essentially crawl to the canoe to where, hopefully no one's looking at me, because people see me do the backflip, but I don't want anybody to see that I was injured.
of course not. No.
So,
Long story short, he goes to the hospital.
Yeah. Exactly what your wife says I don't want to do.
Happens a lot.
Man, we put our wives through some stuff. And
I want to find here's a new, you're a big fan of contests. I know you're a big fan of fish out of water. You're a big fan of finding those unicorns out in society. Find me the girl who is always acting out,
like she still got it. Like
Yeah,
they're
still,
doing
like,
the stereotypical
yeah.
dad thing, but it's a girl.
But it's the girl.
It's the mom. Yeah.
Is-
That exists, I think.
It does it?
Yes, yeah. It exists. It's probably
What
more
type of
rare.
characteristics? Because it's not going to be the same. See, I'm going out there looking for, I feel like male characteristics on female party mom, and that's just not going to work.
No, you're looking.
You gotta grade it with the right metrics, right?
You need to find a former athlete or an athlete.
Tactical Hat says it's Tracy, Party Patch Tracy or Tracy Claus from our. I don't think she parties. That's not what I'm looking for.
No, not a party animal. I'm talking about a alpha female that. And that's what I'm saying. Usually they've been in sports or whatever. Dude, I've met lots of women that were tougher and could do more. Obviously, had more balls than I did. Like just tougher people. And those, I feel like those alpha women will do that, and they, I think, are probably more attracted to the I guess what's the anti-alpha male,
like a beta or whatever.
Beta male, or like a more
you're
passive,
so passive.
Oh, passive male. Like they portray this in the in that what is it called? For All Mankind show on Apple.
Oh, yeah,
that Moon
yeah.
show. There's one like super alpha astronaut woman that's married to like a pothead, passive dude that's just like a smart pothead, kind of like hippie style. This is like the 60s, 70s. And that's their relationship. It's like the super alpha female, So I think that just. And then I've seen women that are alpha like that in the sports married to other alpha men too.
Yes.
And then they have two.
and that seems to work okay.
Yeah. And then both of them are pushing each other. Then that's where you get into like the rock climber partnerships and like the couples that
extreme sport partnerships.
Yes.
There's your
Andy, Logic Man.
No, I was gonna say even your wife's brother, his girlfriend. I mean, when you see them interact, it's like two superior
Jetson?
athletes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, I
That's
didn't want
partly-
to blow up a spot, but yeah, Jetson's his girlfriend when they're together, and they're too cool. They kept in touch with me and Andrea since the trip. We've been swapping bike stories and whatnot, but
They're both Ironman competitors and
yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's cool. That when I see that though, there is I ain't gonna lie to you. When I do see that, I go, man, it would be. There is a little bit of relationship jealousy I have where I'm like, it'd be cool to like compete and motivate and
Yeah. I know. I'll like. Crystal will push me and she'll call me like a P word or like like we'll make jokks around about like
Andrea
not
treats
being
me
weak.
like a baby.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, no, it's fine. Anything I do is wonderful. Like look at him smile. It's like, oh, look at the way he eats a grape. I'm like a baby. I'm just like a baby. Everything I do is awesome.
Yeah. Crystal will push. She'll be like, "Come on, you like she'll," and I like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't want her to be like, "Oh, you better luck next time." Like I want her to be like, you weak POS. You
That's how you like
lost-
your massages too.
Yeah,
You like
yeah.
those like sad, angry massages.
I like it when the person like I don't like pity and I don't like someone feeling sorry for me. I want
Yeah.
them to push me and be mad that I failed.
Okay, I like that.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Samantha, and Travis. So, listening to the Friday Free Show about Tom and his long cons. Well, my dad had a few long cons as well. One was that he was so smart that he skipped kindergarten for second, third grade and went straight to like fourth grade. And I was so proud of him. I remember during show and tell, I decided that was going to be my tell, and everyone was clapping. It was like, oh yeah, Christina's dad is so smart.
So for like show and tell, she got up in front of the class and said, "My dad is so smart that he went straight to fourth grade," and the whole class like, "Oh my god!"
But from 5 years old, like you're like a tiny like kindergartner. When you like sometimes you go into kindergarten at 4 years old because their birthday falls or whatever,
yeah.
and like that's a baby, man. Like when I say like a Tommy now in first grade, he's 7, just turned 7, and the difference between kindergarten, I'm like, man,
It's
that's
crazy.
it's a big difference. So we might just putting like Maisie into fourth grade. Like she can read as good, like she can do the work.
I wouldn't want to.
But she's a tiny baby.
She's a baby.
Compared to like what fourth grade is. 7, 8, 9, 10. Like you're 10, 11.
Maybe 11.
Yeah.
She continues.
And then another one was about how he like escaped some jail in Austria because he was wanted in Poland and came to America.
Wait a minute. So your dad told you he was a Nazi on the run?
He was a Nazi war criminal?
That's not a good long con. That's terrible.
I went straight to fourth grade and I'm a Nazi war criminal.
Like on the run and all. I don't even know what's real anymore. Like now every story he's told me, I don't know what's real. And that's why Tom shouldn't lie to his children.
There you go. Don't lie to your children like that woman's poor Nazi dad. Why would you say that? Why would you say that to your daughter?
Well,
I don't have any of that with Maisie yet. I don't have a con. There's no long con yet. Because I don't have the heart to do it because I'm such a P word when it comes to parenting her that if I, like, even if I'm just screwing around for one time, I'll say something and she'll go like look at me puzzled and be like, really, Daddy? And I can't give in. I'm like, no, I can't because I don't want to lose her trust. I'm terrified of that. Because if she doesn't trust me, then what do I have?
But the thing is, sometimes
I don't want to lose your trust either. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, you lost
Don't-
it.
you gotta trust me.
I
You
don't
gotta
know.
trust me,
No
Tom.
trust. No.
You gotta trust me.
Every time I open the door, I'm like,
Well, one day I will shoot you through the door.
Well, I do that move where I stand on the other door and then I open it.
Well, I shoot through the other
like-
door because I know I'm looking through the window.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
I look through the window. I'm like, what side of the door is he standing on? I'm gonna shoot his guts out.
now my sons, though, as they get older, they don't even believe some of the dumb cons. I've tried to tell them that, like, I got a skin tag. Remember, I told them that when they turn.
You do? You have a skin tag?
Yeah, I got a. Well, should I show Twitch?
No. I don't want to get taken off Twitch.
I think I show Twitch.
Is it gray?
No, it's just in my armpit. And
Oh God!
it's like the size of a skin. It's flat. But as long as a pencil eraser.
Flat?
Yeah, it's a flat skin tag.
Flat
It's
Earth,
gross.
bro.
And so I told both my sons that when they turn 10 years old,
They get one of those.
no, well, we do a ceremony and they'll have to bite it off. It's called the
remember
biting ceremony.
I remember this. Yeah, they
And-
don't believe that though.
Now they got. I don't think they. I still try to tell them that like, oh, you're 7, 3 more years to the biting ceremony. Like we're not. We're not doing that. You're making that up. And then so
You gotta ramp it up. You gotta like come over here, open your mouth.
Well, then
and then you gotta like we gotta take some pictures. We gotta size up your robes. I'm ordering you your biting robes.
they call my bluff, and then they're like, and then Mac's like, I'll bite it off right now. And then I'm like, then I show it to him, and he
You're
gets close.
supposed to yell, "Do it," and then the p word afterwards.
But
And
he
then
gets
Crystal
close. I'm
comes
like,
in and pushes you away. He'll do it though, because he's like me.
Yeah.
He'll do it. You know, he's like me. He's like Ozzy Osbourne at the table at the record company. You bite the bat. You know, you're in the moment. You do it. I would bite your skin tag. I would have done it at Front Yard Festival just to get the applause. Anything for a joke. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Max has got that in him where he's like, look, I'm in the moment.
yeah.
It's go time, baby.
But they still call the gutter the gutter. That's still 100% ingrained. They do not know it as anything else but the gutter. When I pressure wash the back patio, I'm like, hey, what is this again? The gutter.
Gutter.
Like that is solidified in there.
Yeah, I don't have one.
And that will that'll keep going. But they're getting too smart for anything. And now they're asking deep. Max asked me the other day, have I ever been arrested? This is at night. Now
Yeah, but he knows that you have, and he's in his back pocket. He's got like a document he printed out from Google. You know, like he's got your mugshots.com or whatever.
No, he had like I don't know where this came from. We've been doing this new thing where they'll go to bed and then like, Daddy, can we talk? And they're just,
Oh yeah, Crystal was telling me about that, where you guys are having talk time.
but they're scared. They don't really want to talk to me. They just want to stay awake longer. So but they realize
so manipulation. It's fine.
they manipulate, and then I'm like, yes, I do, because then they're actually they're interested in me telling stories.
Yeah.
Normally, literally, I'll be telling a story to Max, and then he'll just say in the middle, it's like Butler, he's like, are we done yet? Like, or can we go play? Or like, this is long. Anyway, but I was telling him that I've never been arrested, but one time I got detained because I was walking to Subway with my childhood friend Menahem, and it was curfew in Miami, and a police officer picked us up and then called our parents. But then I was trying to explain to him, like, but my intention wasn't bad. We just want to watch Subway. But we know we shouldn't have gone out late, because they're like, did you get in trouble? I was like, not really.
They think you're a bad boy now.
But then I'm like, should I be telling him this? Like
And then they go to school. They're like, my dad's trying to rob a Subway with Menahem.
and then one time I smoked weed with cocaine in it. Thank you. It was a thing back in the day.
I tell him
it was the
everything.
90s.
I tell Maisie everything. I'm like, before your mom, there were like 2 other girls that I really liked. And I was dating them good. If you know what
You doing?
No, I don't.
Oh, you tell him about the putting down the tarp?
Oh yeah, the tarp, the baby oil, the parties I was having. You
Remember
know.
when you
I show them pictures of it. I take them on Instagram. I go, this could have been your mom. You would look different though. You'd have her nose. Who would say that? Oh God, we gotta get out of here.
Bye bye.